the true freedom of choice as far as freedom of association. We know that there are those of you Protestants and Baptists who have been killed off and mass murdered by the Catholics. We know you don't want to live around Catholic white people. So here is an area for Protestant and Baptist white people to live in. And that would go over like wildfire. Wildfire. But that we are not permitted freedom of choice as to who we want to associate with, and so on. Now, here's one. Now, once you have separated the nation and the empire into these nations, now you have center cities like Philadelphia, Baltimore, New York. And I would make these cities center cities so that the different nations that are established now in North America can work in commerce there. And so it's kind of a meeting place for commerce, but then you live in your own particular nation. Or make them international cities, or something like that. So you're able to conduct your commerce, but at the same time preserve your national identities. But it can be worked out. It can happen. But these damnable secret societies controlled by the Pope, they will never allow it to happen. Therefore, every Masonic lodge has to be closed. There is no secret society allowed in your country if you are going to maintain your national sovereignty, while at the same time, the only nations that have ever successfully attained to national sovereignty and kept it and had blessing and prosperity that gave us a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant Western civilization, which includes Sweden, is a country, a people that reads the Bible. So the Bible needs to be in public school again. The Bible needs to be reflecting in your law again. The Bible needs to be reflected in your culture. And while at the same time, if you want the blessing of Genesis 10 or Genesis 12, the Jews who live in your country, you will not persecute them. You allow them to live there, conduct their commerce, their science, or whatever they're doing, and you do not persecute them, then you will get the blessing of Genesis 12, verses 1 through 3. And that was typical of white Anglo-Saxon Protestant Western nations. We did not persecute the racial Jew, which is another reason that we became the greatest in war, the greatest in commerce, the greatest in the arts. White Anglo-Saxon Protestant civilization has been the greatest civilization in history because of this influence of the Bible and the spreading of the gospel and the non-persecution of the Jews.
You know, Eric, I just want to ask you a little bit about a kind of a moral dilemma that obviously is popping up here, and that is about, let's take secret societies then. I mean, isn't there, in a way, their right to have that freedom to do what they please? I mean, who would step in here and say, no, we don't permit that a secret society should exist? Who should keep track on that? And wouldn't that be to kind of go in and stomping down and limiting people's freedoms right there?
Okay. In answering that question, what you do is you have a law in your country, and that law punishes treason. No country can exist with traitors in government. So therefore, if a secret society has a secret agenda which involves overthrowing the national sovereignty of your country, now it's not a matter of religious choice, it's a matter of political treason. And because it's traitorous, it involves treason, you cannot come here. Mm-hmm. If you're going to have a church, if you're going to have a society where men meet together for certain philanthropic reasons, we want to see your statement of faith. We want to see what you're all about. We want to see what you seek to establish. What are you seeking to do for Switzerland?
But that means, that also means that means that there has to be a transparency within that organization then, correct?
That's correct.
And that means that the idea of a secret society, no, we like to meet in privately, we like to do whatever it is we do, and we don't want to have something peering into what we are doing. Shouldn't they have the right to do that? I mean, it's difficult to talk about these things.
No. See, because as you and I meet secretly, and we're over for dinner,
right?
Or we talk about the politics, but you and I have not taken a bloody oath.
That's right. Well,
you and I have not cut our hands and sealed our oath with our own blood. You and I have not taken an oath to the Brotherhood to swear to conceal and never reveal the secrets of Freemasonry, lest my tongue be torn out by the roots, lest my all that kind of stuff. We're not taking any oaths.
Right, but someone from the outside wouldn't know that unless they had full insight into what we did that night when we had dinner, correct?
But you see, that's what these Masons who defect from the lodge and write their books, that's what they talk about. So there's no reason why the people should not know, because you're going to have truly a free press that will report these kinds of things like what you and I are doing now.
Right, right. Of course, I agree with you. I'm just talking about the dilemma there that would obviously arise into how much, someone has to be peering into your, even down to your private life in order to keep track on all these things. And at the same time, we should have freedom for all and private integrity and all of that stuff, It's difficult.
Anything done in secret is evil.
You think so?
And so,
does it have to be?
Absolutely. Do you know anything that's done in secret that's good?
No, but I mean, it's like, okay, let's be, some things people like to do in privacy, right?
Like what?
Well, having sex for one, being with their family, it's like things.
Okay, this is a private husband and wife issue.
Of course, yeah, exactly.
We're not talking about a secret society. Don't confuse privacy, which I advocate and you advocate.
Yeah.
Because I stand for the Bill of Rights. That your man's securing his own private papers and effects, and if you're going to come in my house, you better have a warrant. Absolutely, I'm totally in agreement with that.
Yeah.
When it comes to secret societies, men organizing brotherhoods for secret and occult purposes, which are going to hurt your national sovereignty, that is treason.
Right.
Sex with your wife in privacy is not treason.
Right.
Glorifying to God, it's good for the culture, it raises families. We want a lot of that.
Of course, but I mean, it's always what again, I'm just getting back to that who would keep control and track of all of these things. Let's say, let's go, not here and say that, okay, Skull and Bones, right? That's there's alleged, homosexual activity going on there, right? Behind the scenes as a secret society. So could that be? Do they have the right to do that? Do they have the right to do what they please with their own, bodies, their own sexuality? I think that they have that. But on top of that, obviously, then you have the problem of, okay, who many of these people are meeting? What are they talking about? So what I'm getting at, and what my point is that it's very difficult, from what I can see right now, to have an openness and at the same time have privacy. It's like, who should keep track and control of all of these things, and where does this transparency begin and end? That's just what I'm pointing out here.
I understand. So if you come into my country and we have a law that we don't allow anybody to be a member of a secret society in my country. If you're a member of a secret society, I want to see your doctrine of faith. I want to see all the members, and then I'll decide. If you're a member of a secret society, you just can't come. That's all there is to it. My country is not for you.
Yeah.
If you want to be a member of a secret society, go to Washington, go to New York, go to London, and reap what they're doing there. But in my country, we have a law. There's no secret societies. I don't care what you do in private. What I care is about your doctrine, what you believe as far as your secret societies. And I'm not advocating sodomy. Sodomy will destroy any country. It destroyed the Greeks, it destroyed the Romans, it's destroying this country. Homosexuality, sodomy will destroy any culture. But that's not the topic here. The topic is secret societies and what they do to national sovereign nations. And I can give you a couple examples how Sweden was ultimately betrayed in World War II by being kept neutral during World War II, and what the King of Sweden, that high-level Freemasonry, how he was working with the Nazis to the own hurt of his own Swedish people. You cannot have secret societies with men of power, because they're always going to view you as an animal, less than them. You're not one of the initiated. You're one of the goy, and therefore we can do anything to you that we want to.
I agree. It's again, I'm all for it. It's definitely something that we need to think about. How much freedom do we allow to other people, and where does one draw the line? It's very, very difficult, all of this. I just want to return a little bit and talk more about the Knights of Malta before we round things up on our second segment, and this has to do with the former Grand Master of Knights of Malta, Andrew Bertie. He was the fourth cousin, I think twice removed from Queen Elizabeth II. Very interesting right there. It's a huge connection there. But they've gotten a new Grand Master because he passed away, I think, was it last year, at the beginning of this year. And the new one is called Matthew Festing. He's also from England, the UK. Have you been able to pick up any background on this guy? I haven't read too much about him yet. Have you, Eric?
I haven't been able to find that much about him, but I'm sure he's a noble. I'm sure he's of royal blood. I'm sure he has a connection to the monarchies of Europe, and so as the Grand Master now, he's the head of the Committee of 300 that John Coleman writes about. He is the head of the Queen, because the Queen is a Dame of Malta. In fact, I have her picture in my presentation there. You see here with the cross of the Knights of Malta on her left shoulder. So he is one of the 10 most powerful men in the world, and will continue the secret but true policies of the Pope. And that brings up another issue. How can you allow a Roman hierarchy in your country? If you're going to maintain your national sovereignty, you cannot allow a Roman hierarchy to reside in your country. And that's why Elizabeth kicked out the Jesuits. That's why others have insisted that when a bishop or an archbishop is ordained, they have to be a national. Now Rome totally forbids that. You cannot have a foreign hierarchy in your country and maintain your nationalism. They all have to go. And it has nothing to do with freedom of religion. It has to do with national sovereignty and enforcing the laws of treason.
Right, right. And talking about national sovereignty, many people over here in the European countries are of course, getting their national sovereignty taken away from them by the European Union. And, there are many people behind the EU, like, for instance, Valéry Giscard d'Estaing, former president of the French Republic, I think in the late 70s. And, of course, he is another Knights of Malta, and he's an architect, basically, of the European Constitution. And, of course, the consequent reformed Lisbon Treaty that was, voted down again, this time by the Irish. Great to see that.
God bless the Catholic Irish. They did something right.
There we go. Right. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, what's your take on the European Union? I mean, we have so many people that seems to be involved in Knights of Malta that has this connection to the EU. What do you see that being? Is that another enforcer, so to speak, for the Pope and for the Vatican?
That's right. According to Bible prophecy, there has to arise this continuation of the Fourth World Empire, and it has to be in power at the time of the end during what the Bible talks about the Great Tribulation, or the last 3.5 years of the 70th week of years of the prophet Daniel, as Daniel 9:24 through 27 talks about. So there, the devil, by way of the papacy, is using his Knights of Malta and the Roman hierarchy to totally organize a Roman Catholic Europe, to have this huge Catholic bloc, now that they've destroyed Protestantism out of Europe and the majority of the Jews, and so that they can have a bloc that will be the most powerful economic bloc in the world, the most militarily, the most powerful, that it will have a huge population that is united to do the designs and purposes and secret intrigues of the papacy. And so, yes, that is its real purpose. And so, therefore, every true Bible believer, every true nationalist, every true believer on the true Lord Jesus Christ should be completely and totally and obstinately against sacrificing his nation to the European Union. And
the signing of the EU Constitution back in, I think, October 2004, that, of course, took place on Capitoline Hill in Rome, at the Appartamento di Conservatori, before this huge bronze statue of Pope the Innocent X. You see that?
Yes, Pope Innocent X, yes.
Yeah.
And it had also the 12 stars.
Right, exactly.
Because you see in the Revelation 12, you see a woman clothed with 12 stars. They think the woman is the Catholic Church, when the woman is the nation of Israel, and the 12 stars are the 12 tribes. So what they do is they completely prostitute the meaning of Scripture to suit their purposes, and so they have these 12 stars as part of the European Union flag. Right.
So this is nothing to do with New Age stuff like astrology, right? The 12 houses of the zodiac, right? Is there a connection there?
Yes. Oh, yes, the center for all occultism, all New Ageism, the Zodiac, is Rome.
Right.
It's the center of all occult religion. In fact, the father of the New Age religion, which was a Jesuit, Teilhard de Chardin, a French Jesuit. And so these Jesuits are really the masters of this New Age religion, because New Age religion is pushed by the high-level Freemasons. And so Masonry being used to bring in all the different religions of the world, ultimately under the Black Pope controlling the White Pope.
We have about 5 minutes left here.